Well, hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good night. It actually could be good night for me, but I just wanted to jump on here briefly. I just off of a live that was very positive in reference to Cali. I saw some great networking with a group of young ladies. Um, and that's something that I love to do. I got into this fight um, looking at the R. Kelly situation because of the love that I have for my son. I have a 25-year-old son. Had two boys, now I have one. I lost my oldest son at the age 17. So as a mother, you're always protective of your child. When I look back in my life, or when I look back at just life period, we are a people. And because of we are a people, we are not a perfect people. I understand that we all, as the word says, all have sinned and come short. So we all have made some bad decisions. We all have done some bad things, or some things that in our younger years that we will not agree with in our elder years. And that's just part of life. We live and we grow and we learn from that. And so when I begin to follow a lot of the bloggers and listen to some of the bloggers, and then when I begin to read the cases, and then when I begin to see how with our media begin to play it out, operating from the platform of court of opinions, public opinions, that's when I knew something was not right in that way of this particular of case. Because when you go back into history, he hasn't done nothing no different than other celebrities, other rock stars. But how this particular one case, how things that I see, and not even knowing all of the laws, but how I see things are playing out, is it just was not right in my eyesight. And me being, and I hear this word being loosely released on YouTube, being a discerning person, I begin to, not only do I discern, but I listen and I operate strategically with the voice of God and with things that God give me, and how to execute some things and how to maneuver through some things by way of the Spirit. I do nothing with just to be doing it, just to be seen, just to be like. I'm not that type of person. If there's an entrance, then there's something that God wants to do overall with a certain situation or with a certain individual. And when I come into that place, then I know that God is going to work on behalf of that individual. But when I begin to listen to all of the stuff and see all of the stuff and how everything began to play out, even before the case, even before the trial had begun, the court of public opinions had already begun to call this man guilty. And I'm talking about Robert Sylvester Kelly. And that's something, when it comes to our legal system, it is labeled that we are innocent until we're proven guilty. And so when you begin to match his case, and how the court or the public media began to release information and put docuseries out, and there's other um, people doing these, be in charge of the same thing, but media was not addressing it, it was not picking it up, then it began to be an eye-opener to me. And I see things like this. If we have one poster child, if we want to have one poster person, then we can utilize this person to open up a tunnel and funnel down. And so if they can take down somebody that has prestige and have affluence and have finances, then just imagine what they can do with a no-name person, with a person that have no money, have nobody that will voice for them. Just think what can happen when we as mothers, we as wives, we as sisters, we as daughters, we as nieces begin to allow society, allow movements to come, allow the system to be able to go against its own settings, its own laws, its own rules, begin to exit out and just move off of, we're going to create our own move. We're going to do this because this is what we feel is best in this situation, even though there are laws, there are practice guidelines in place for certain things, and for us to see how the system bypass its own laws, its own rules. That's an eye opener. That's awakening up to me to say, if it can happen in this type of situation with an individual that have connection to people, that have money, that have esteem, affluence, then it can happen to any one of our sons, our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, our nephews. And so we as a people have to begin to bring forth the undue justice. We have to take it down. And so I stand to fight for the injustice of what is taking place in reference to not just this case, but in cases that's to come. We have to dismantle the unfairness in our judicial system. We have to really get to the place of dismantling it. We can't allow people to just come forth because they have vendettas, they have backdoors, motives, a manipulation to come and destroy somebody. We have a system in place. I say if a person is guilty, let them have their day in court. If you want to charge somebody, let them go through due process. I say this, we have to continue to pray for Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. We really do have to continue to pray. We have to cover him. We have to really cover our judicial system, the legal system. We have to come up with a plan how we can execute it where it will work in favor, it will work for the due cause of what is in place for her. But being a woman of color, we understand that the system is not made to work in our favor, but it is actually made against us. And so I do believe when it comes to that we do need to have some restructure, resetting of the system, so that our men of color, so our brothers, our husbands, our sons, nephews, fathers can have, God forbid that they get in this place, but that they can have the opportunity of a fair and just due process. So I just wanted to get on here as I get ready to turn down. I pray for everyone that is fighting the coronavirus. I pray that God would bring speedy healing. I pray that this shall pass sooner than later. I pray that our country even will come up with a strategy, a structure for us to test, for us the vaccination that is needed. I pray that those answers be released. I pray for the covering of every person, family, loved one that has been affected by this. I just pray that our country make it through this in a positive way. I pray that we learn from this, we grow from this. I pray for your household safety and protection. I pray healing over your households as well. I just wanted to get on here briefly just to say some words of inspiration, even during the quarantine of the coronavirus. I pray for every person that is locked up right now unfairly, unjustly. I pray that, God will come forth and overturn the hands of the powers that may be. I pray that even when it comes to Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly's case, that that the truth will come out, that all players, all parties that are being manipulated to take this person down, take Mr. Sylvester Kelly down, that they would be exposed. I pray that even in this process, why R. Kelly is in his quarantine state spiritually, that God will continue to strengthen him, that he will continue to build him, that he will continue to uplift him, as well as those that of his fans, of his supporters. I pray that we come in peace. I pray that we stay connected, unified, to take down whatever needs to be taken down, to dismantle whatever needs to be taken down, to bring forth whatever needs to come forth. I pray that there be an overturning even in the judicial system. I pray as we continue to listen to one another, that God will give us strategic ideas on how to debunk our judicial system, because we know, we know that it is a very wicked and corrupt system. And so we have to really get to a place where we learn the laws, move with the laws, and get involved in the political party, and dismantle, debunk, and reset, restructure some things, that it will work in favor for men of color, as well as some women of color too. So I just wanted to get on here and release that to you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. I pray all is well with you and your family. May the Lord continue to be with you. God bless you. I love you. Thank you for tuning in with Talk with Natasha Monique. God bless you. Peace.